Welcome back to another video, everybody, in the SSL by 30 series. I know it's been a minute. I just haven't been recording as much lately, but I have been playing 1v1s, and I have a couple games for you guys that I'm going to walk through the positives and negatives and maybe try to catch some good and bad patterns in my 1v1 games. I specifically picked a really close win and a really close loss for you guys, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to grab a professional 1v1 replay and try to highlight anything that they do differently in their decision making. Obviously their mechanics are going to be a lot better than mine, the recoveries, but I'm looking at decision making, when to challenge, when to jump, when to go for a flick versus maybe a bounce dribble or an aerial play, and try to see if there's any patterns that we can recognize in their game that we aren't doing to try to improve our game. So we'll just jump right into it. This first one, he was tough, but let's just jump right into it. We get a good kickoff to start. He's going to touch it, so I didn't want to commit there. Get the boost grab, and really bad setup off the wall. You saw my wheels kind of came off the wall, so I just decided to ditch the play. We don't want to waste our boost or get demoed here. I really should stay more goal side, but I think I was mostly worried about the demo. Let's secure some boost, kind of get a feel for his. At the beginning of the game, I like to try to get a feel for their consistency mechanically and stuff like that before I go for things. That was just a really bad play for me off the wall, and so it got me out of position. So we're down 1-0. My kickoffs are doing okay. That wasn't too great. I meant to get a wave dash, but missed it. There's no reason I should be jumping off the back wall here. If you think about it, like with my lack of momentum, I'm not going to be able to go anywhere with that. A little bit of a quick challenge there. Let's back it up and look at that again. So this whole issue starts with me coming off the wall. So I get the boost. I know where he is. He's up. And right here, like, that first touch is just not good enough to actually follow it up. So I just wasted my boost to come off the wall there. Now here, he's just a lot faster than me in that moment, and so I should just be turning back around towards net. So, a little bit, getting a little outplayed in terms of speed here, but we get a good kickoff goal, and, we're right back into the game. No worries, we've got a lot of time left. I'm starting to get a feel for his kickoffs. That's a much better wave dash kickoff. At least gets us back to defend. We get the boost. Nope, we don't get the boost. Alright. Set up a dribble play here. Trying to get him to commit to some sort of challenge so we can flick or pop. He doesn't, so we end up conceding possession, but we got the boost. Obviously, looking at the replay, we see he's low boost. But in the game, I'm just assuming he's low boost because he hasn't been able to get any. I should have just done a single jump bump there, or not even jump, because that flip put me way out of the play. And that's kind of a theme you'll see with me, is I tend to waste my flip with challenges or plays off the wall or bumps, and then it puts me out of position. And so one thing I've been trying to work on is not flipping as much. Either just drive challenges, single jump 50s, or holding onto my flip, do a longer jump and hold onto my flip. Now I should be using some thumbstick input here to kind of get a feel for where he is, instead of just assuming he's staying in net. So we're a little shaky mechanically in this game. And then he gets a pogo shot on us. So at this point, I'm like, I legitimately almost decided to forfeit because I was playing poorly. He's obviously pretty mechanical, and I felt like he was smurfing, and but I decided to play the game out. So we do have a full game here. I go for a cuxer, so he was definitely not in position to save it if I actually hit it. But we let him miss the ball off the wall. That was a good job to not actually dive in for that, especially because we're in his back corner. And there I didn't automatically use my flip, so I was able to save it. So we're starting to learn from our mistakes a little bit. Our touches are a little bit rough still. And we just, yeah, like I said, our touches are just slightly off enough that we just can't seem to get a consistent look on net. And a lot of that is like, I think I just started to tilt a little bit. And so, you know, you get tilted and then just things don't work out well. Avoided the bump there, secured the boost. He's got to go back, so we're going to take possession of the ball. We don't get the dribble, so we mainly just want to keep it away from him while we try to get boost. Now, I don't do a very good job in this game of maintaining possession when I have boost advantage. But, again, it's just something to work on. That was a decent first touch. And then we whiffed the flip reset. So, I'm not upset with the fact that I went for that, because it's something I need to work on. So, you know, how are you going to get better at it without going for it? But definitely was a missed opportunity. We saw him, again, here's another... We see he messes his play up, right? Like, that's a really bad just like double jump. He just sends the ball floating. And right here, if we could wait, either wait half a second longer or just do a single jump and pop it past him, and then the ball wouldn't be so far away from us. But since we flipped through that touch, we put ourselves so far away from the ball we couldn't follow up on it. Same with that one, right? We put the ball so far away from us that we just can't follow up on it. That was good patient defense. We're still in the game mentally. I think we've kind of just decided, you know, he's better than us. We're just going to finish the game out. Still trying our best. Got a nice controlled dribble here. Waited patiently for him to mess up that touch, and we get a goal. So 16 seconds left. See what we can do. We have been doing okay with him on kickoffs. We just haven't had a kickoff in a while. Now, a big mistake from him to go for the boost here, right? You know, technically the kickoff went to his side, but he had possession essentially because he was closer to the ball. He could have dribbled it back to his corner. So he kind of gave us that one. Now let's talk about this kickoff. I have 10 seconds to score one goal. So I need to get possession quickly. I don't necessarily need boost. I just need him to get out of the play. And so I purposely went for a delayed kickoff here. But I need to make sure that I don't just sit there, right? Or else it's going to pop really high into the air. And if it pops really high in the air, it's going to use up a lot of time. And we tie it up. Very patient offense there. So what I mean to say is on that kickoff, when you delay it, you still want to make sure you get good center contact of the ball so that it doesn't go so high in the air. Now, we probably actually could have scored on that if we had gotten a good first touch, but we didn't. So we end up having to get a really good challenge here. A little bit lucky that he just gave it away. He's playing really aggressively. He doesn't need to. So a little bit lucky with his bad decision making, but we capitalized on it. So feels good. Came back, tied it up, got some overtime. It's a new game, you know, golden goal. So we just need to make sure we play really well. We know he's scoreable. Test his goal line defense a little bit, and he misses the touch there. So we actually got away with a win against this guy. We really played poorly for the first 2.5 minutes. Played better for the last half, but we can see definitely some patterns in the gameplay that led to a lot of those goals he scored. This, I think, was a couple weeks ago. So I've been playing probably 3 or 4 1v1 games every couple days. So I think I'm already I've already played more, I think, than I played the entire last season. So still trying to learn. We're just going to let this one play out. I'm going to try to, same thing, kind of point out where I'm messing up and where I'm, you know, making good decisions. I can already tell I'm like a little bit more in control mechanically this game than I was in the last replay. It's a decent 50. We don't need to go to the corner here. I think I thought this boost was going to spawn. Definitely didn't expect the full dive, and so we didn't actually jump when we should have. Sometimes I get hidden behind the ball too much. I need to play a little bit more laterally instead of just vertically, so that I can see him better. Part of it is just like not reacting to what I'm seeing on my screen. You know, not very risky, not the best flip reset attempt there, but you know, it is what it is. I was going for stuff. Got a good kickoff here, and I've been practicing these shots off kickoff, and it's been getting me like 1 to 2 goals a game, which is, you know, it's just one of those lame aspects of 1v1. But you know, if you're trying to win, you got to be able to hit those kind of blind doinks back at net off a kickoff. You're gonna get a few. If you have a decent kickoff, you're gonna get a few opportunities for those every game. So pretty quickly tie it up. We're gonna. We have a tendency to like go for fake kickoffs, but if I remember correctly in this game, we kind of recognized that our kickoffs were a little bit better than his, or at least neutral enough that we didn't have to fake very much. That's a bad challenge, and this goes back to my issue we talked about in the previous game, where I tend to just dive and flip into things too much instead of just single jump or long jump then hold on to my flip. I had no reason to flip into that challenge. I could have just done a single jump 50. Our kickoffs are kind of saving us. Didn't score there, but we definitely have the advantage here. I don't know why I keep going for these corner resets. They're very inefficient with how bad I am. But you know, maybe one day I'll get good at them. I think we were hoping that he'd go for the boost on that, but that it would come off the wall faster. But either way, it works out. Another big kickoff win. And missed the open net. Classic, classic. The angle was like, we made the angle harder than it needed to be because we didn't expect such a fast bounce off the wall. But you know, at this point, we're still in the game, down 1. A ton of time left. There hasn't been much defense played in this game. But we noticed that we keep beating him on kickoff, so we can kind of play to our strengths and not worry too much if he beats us in the ground game, because every time there's a goal, there's going to be a kickoff. See, these are a little bit better 50s than I was doing earlier. Still not like amazing, but we maintain boost control, and you know, if we could ever figure out how to just like control the ball in our half, then we'd be golden. Instead, we hand possession away and a lot of times get stuck out into their corner with a low boost, like we are now here. I'm still trying to figure out good spacing on these shadow plays. You know, I'm getting to the point where guys can really rip flicks on net, you know, 105, 110 kph. And I've kind of figured out it's better to play closer into the net, like don't go so far out to the sidewall. But what I haven't really figured out is proper spacing on the shadowing. Because when they're so far away, it gives them more time to set things up. But if I'm too close, it gives me less time to react to the flick. And so I don't know, like, maybe you guys can comment down below if you have any ideas on like proper spacing for shadow defense when they have the ball in their car. I think I'm doing like I would rate myself as like a C+ defender in those situations. I am trying to get better at aerial plays, so you'll see me like go for aerial stuff that I probably shouldn't go for, but I'm trying to get better at it, so that's why I still go for it. If I were to optimize my game, I probably just wouldn't even go for them in 1v1s. But a little bit of mechanical mishap there ends up giving him possession, and then he gets past him. So we're beating him on the kickoffs, but we're not capitalizing on the open nets. You get a little lucky there. He kind of gave up on the play, so he had a slow recovery. But 6-6 with a minute and a half left. Definitely still in the game, even though he's pretty much outplaying me in all regards outside of kickoffs. That's just how 1v1s is. That's a good 50. We get boost, but we should know that people are going to chase demos, and so we should need to either jump or boost more. Like we chase demos, so why are we not expecting other players to? There's an opportunity for me to score, and my flick mechanics are just not consistent. That's just bad play right there. 40 seconds. We got the hope still, so we're gonna still keep going. We know we've been scoring off the kickoffs. As you can tell, though, we've made a lot of really silly mistakes mechanically this game, and it's still so close, which is what you know, gives me hope going forward. And here I just forfeit because I don't want to deal with. Every single goal he scored almost was me messing up something rather than him outplaying me. Almost every goal. And so those kind of games tilt me more, and so I tend to lose my willpower to keep playing. So granted, right, if he goes up 2 here, we just saw in the last game that it's definitely winnable, but sometimes my mental fortitude is just not there. So let's jump into a pro player's 1v1. We'll grab a 1v1 from Roas if we can find one, and kind of show what they do differently than me. All right, so we got Roas on the blue team against Wazian on the orange team, and we're not gonna analyze much of his gameplay outside of those 3 things we talked about that I was having issues with. So one of them being proper 50s, you know, avoiding the urge to dive in thinking I'm going to win the 50 and playing it more conservatively, trying to just maintain possession off the 50 instead of trying to like 100% win it, because those dives lead to a lot of open nets for the other team. So proper 50s. Second one is defensive spacing. So we're going to try to pay attention to his defensive spacing. If Wazian is carrying the ball or has bounce dribble going, you know, spacing and when to actually commit to the save and things like that. And then the third one will be, I didn't really talk about this too much, but in general, like, what are the types of offensive plays he goes for? Granted, he's much more mechanically consistent than me, obviously, like one of the best players in the world. But, you know, is he going for low percentage plays? Is he working on stuff like that? Or is he limiting or constraining his offense to higher percentage plays? Granted, it's ranked ones. He might be going for low percentage plays. I haven't watched this replay yet, so this is my first time seeing it as well. So Wazian right off the bat goes for a wave dash kickoff, which gets him possession. It's a good high touch from Roas to make sure that Wazian doesn't. He's able to get into a good defensive position before Wazian can attack. Air dribble bump attempt. A little bit aggressive. He's not able to convert it, so leads to a goal for Wazian. So I'd say that's if it's not set up correctly, it's a low percentage shot. But if it's set up correctly, it's like, for a guy like Roas, like a 100% shot, almost. See, he doesn't even like flip into that 50. He just makes sure he sits his Fennec right in front of the ball and then tries to see what happens. He keeps the ball really close to him throughout that whole play, even though it's a wide open net. He got a soft touch to keep the ball close to him without slowing it down, and made the open net like a 100% chance. Oh, he went for a curve dash demo. Didn't quite get it. he does 50s off from the side more than straight on, which I think is much more effective than the way I'm doing it. Right? When he flips into it, it's a side flip, so that he doesn't just go sent downfield. He just essentially stays in the same position because he doesn't generate forward momentum with the side flip. It's kind of a, people have been doing it for years because I think it would be like O'Khaled that kind of popularized the modern 50 game in 1v1s. And these are things like I intellectually know I need to be doing, but I just don't do them in game. I need to like overcorrect. So Roas down 1, 3.5 minutes left. See how he responds to the pressure of being down. He's probably not feeling any pressure. Gets the demo there, which is pretty crazy. But notice how he doesn't rush back in to try to get a shot on net. His biggest thing, it seems to be his biggest concern offensively, is just to maintain possession. And he's just outpacing the other guys. He doesn't get the boost off kickoff here, so he tries to bump him off, doesn't quite get the bump. That's okay. He's not doing a lot of wave dash kickoffs. He's doing more like the kickoff I was doing, like a side flip at the end. Or a single jump and then flip away from it. He saw Wazian come up aggressively towards the midfield, so he just launched one on net. I think he's trying to boost starve Wazian until he can get a high percentage shot on net. A little bit of a mistouch there, but recovers nicely. Covers the net there, but again, I don't think no flip. He does use his full jump, but like no flip on that 50 on that block attempt. It's a good challenge by Wazian. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Wazian? We're gonna leave it at Wazian. So we're down 2. Roas is down 2. That's beautiful positioning. He positions himself such that if Wazian wants to clear it, it goes right into Roas. And if he wants to control it, it's going to own goal. So he ends up own goaling in an attempt to control it. Those touches into the wall, I've been trying to do those more where like you don't necessarily maintain possession of the ball, but it takes the possession away from the opponent because it bounces up so high that essentially neither player has possession. And it allows you to get boost or, reposition, and they can't necessarily make an attack on net. He's going to opt for the boost. Control, dodges the demo. There he does flip into the 50, but I think it's because he sees that Wazian... Like, he only flips into the 50 when the opponent is essentially not moving. So, like, the opponent has no momentum behind them. And so he takes advantage of that. But if the opponent is, moving towards the net, or even side to side and has momentum, he does the 50 completely differently. And I doubt he even thinks about these things. He probably just has it kind of ingrained. It's a good demo. Takes his time because he's right next to the net. Secures the tie. So he's equalized the game with less than a minute left. I mean, imagine if you're Wazian, you're like just trying to take any chance you have to score on Roas because Roas is such a demon defensively. But he's watching it back though. He has gotten himself caught out a little bit with aggressive offensive plays. But to be fair, I only ever watch Roas in like show matches. whereas this is just ranked. So I don't know if he approaches it differently. I also don't know who Wazian is. Might be, you know, a European ones main or something. Not sure. This replay was from July, so a couple months ago. So it most likely would have been on Middle Eastern or European servers. All right, one goal game with 13 seconds left. See if Rawas can secure the lead, and yeah, Wazian forfeits, so stays at 8-7. So I think, you know, we mainly focused on the difference between how he approaches 50s than we do. So I think that is one of the biggest things I need to work on. When the opponent has momentum, shot, you know, goal scoring opportunities, it's mostly single jump 50s or no dodge 50s. Like he uses both jumps but doesn't dodge, and then side flip 50s. So if he's shadowing, he'll side flip 50 into it so that he doesn't get taken downfield. And then when he front flips into it is when the opponent has no momentum. So he knows he has that momentum advantage with the flip. And at the very worst, the opponent could like back foot flick it up, but it's not going to go towards the net. So way better decision making from Rawas, obviously, in every regard, because he's just a way better player than me. But I think it is good to kind of look at the tendencies and see where we can try to emulate guys like this. Obviously, Rawas going for some like air dribble bumps, and he honestly didn't really go for too many aerial plays though. So I had mentioned how I was going for some because I was trying to work on it, but if I want to win, I need to really constrain myself to more high percentage plays, which I think Rawas was doing. So thanks for watching the video, guys. If you like this content, subscribe. Come out to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Mr_Talisman. I've been running these 1v1s on stream a couple nights a week. If you didn't like this video, come back for the next one. Maybe you'll like it. Peace.